2025. My name is Sent. This is Rokko-chan. It's a game you've never heard of. Don't worry about that. Nobody's heard of it. We're here to play the most obscure Mega Man-like game imaginable. Real quick, gonna make sure we have the right keybinds so I can't blame those later when this run inevitably turns into a train wreck. Now, it was my original intention to be joined on the couch by the strongest, the fastest, the most knowledgeable group of Rokko-chan speedrunners in existence. But none of them are in Georgia, so instead I've got Clinkit and Ash said hi, and I guess they'll have to do.
Hello.
You two good? You ready for this run?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Heck yeah,
All
totally
right.
ready.
Excellent. Momentum, are we ready for this run? Yeah, that's good enough. Production, are we ready for this run? All right, well, we're going to start in 3, 2. I actually started 5 seconds ago, so your timer's already wrong. Don't worry, we time by in-game time. My job today is to just make production's life as hard as possible. I will be looking at none of the cameras as we go through this lovely little Flash Mega Man game. Now, this is a game done entirely in Flash back in like 2007, so it's completely depreciated. I'm playing some random EXE wrapper for it that someone got to preserve it, because otherwise it would have been lost to the ages. And I'm going to be real with you. The game doesn't necessarily play nice with every computer. I haven't had a chance to practice this on this computer. In fact, 48 hours ago, I was running a 2-hour Final Fantasy game and not Rokko-chan. So if anything goes wrong, I'm going to blame tech like it's actually their fault and not mine for practicing more. just so we all get on the same page there. Now, Ash, I'm going to try and talk as much as possible during this run because I hate the sound of silence just slightly less than I hate the sound of my own voice. But if you do have a donation or anything you want to read, just say, "Sent, shut up," and I will stop talking. Oh. But I do need quiet time right here. Okay, that's actually really hard. I just did an auto-scroller without being able to see it. Wow. The rest of this run is a lot easier, but that is very scary. Also, these pillars. These pillars have very, very bad hitboxes, and if I... yeah, that. You'll just slide off of them and die sometimes. They did not troll me a single time in practice. I felt like they were going to troll me there. I tried to slow down for them. Didn't work. Died anyway. Normally, that would be a reset. That is why my PB in this game is 20 minutes and the estimate is 30. Because I am going to die like that several times. Get used to it now.
Oh my God, Sent, we actually do have 3 donations if I could read them really quick.
You didn't say the magic words.
Sent, shut up.
There we go.
I didn't have the heart to say it. I'm glad you took it.
I'm here for you.
Sorry, actually, hold on 1 second, Ash. I got to do the auto-scroller again.
No problem.
And I do need to hear my my jumps to get this. Okay, that should be good. Go ahead.
Awesome. GG. We got $5 from Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. We also have $20 from Chowski that says, "If you think Kaizo looks cool, download Learn to Kaizo and join in on the fun." Thank you so much for that $20. And $10 from Q-Bear that just says Mario.
Yo, Kaizo is awesome, and if you've ever considered getting into Kaizo, casually or in a speedrunning context, you absolutely should, because there's a huge gamut of Kaizo from, like, super easy, manageable one-screen levels to, you know, the ridiculous nonsense that Panga cooks up. So absolutely check that out if that's something you like. Right now, we're fighting Volcano Man. We don't have any cool weapons, so we just gotta buster him. The only real trick is here, we want to try and shoot him while he's in the air, because... you know, he's still vulnerable while he's in the... Physics, what do you want me to say about it? The fight's over. That's it.
Nice.
Clap for me, audience.
Awesome.
Thank you, audience.
job.
They're there. They're alive. They're with me. That makes me feel good. So in true Mega Man fashion, after every stage, we're going to get a cute little cutscene here of Rokko-chan getting a new weapon and pretending to fire it. Unfortunately, she can't actually fire it due to budgetary concerns. That's fine, though. We got the Volcano Cannon, probably the best weapon in the game. It's the reason we do Volcano Man first. It's really going to be our Swiss Army knife throughout the run. It hits 6 times in a massive explosion, and you could have 2 of them on screen at the same time. So they just kind of solve most of the problems we have in this run. But we actually get a lot of weapon variety in this compared to some of the earlier Mega Mans, and it does have quick switching, like Mega Man 10 and 11. So we do get to see a lot of the arsenal, and that's something I really love about Rokko-chan.
I love that. Oh, we did just get another $10 donation from Q-Bear, and all it says is Rokko-chan.
Let's go.
Let's go. That means we're at $1,305, and I knew we have a another incentive.
We do have an incentive at $1,500
Yeah.
for an upgrade. I believe it's $1,500. What is this?
Yeah, 1,500 for Celeste.
All red berries upgrade.
Love that. Love that. We're so close.
We are so close. We can absolutely make that. Let's make it happen, everyone. Right there, we used a bit of a damage boost to get 2 extra shots in on that mech. You need 5 shots to destroy it. You can only get 4 if you fire while jumping up and down. But if you time your 3rd one and then bump into it, you can get an extra one on the way down and 1 cycle it. These vines are a little... Whoop. Yep. If you get a power-up drop, it actually messes with the momentum of the vine, and if you are not paying attention, you're going to fall right into the abyss there. Luckily, caught myself and was able to get out of there. Forest Man is a bit of an annoying fight. He has 2 modes, do nothing, and constantly jump at you. Constantly jump at you is the worst thing ever, especially in the refight, because our health matters there, and our health matters here if he keeps jumping at us, actually. Please stop jumping at me, Forest Man. Running out of ammo in that fight's very bad. You have to fall back to bustering him. Him hitting you that much in the refights is basically a death sentence, so I'm glad he decided to do that here, and obviously he is going to behave in this marathon run in the refights. Beating Forest Man gets us a couple of things. Gets us the Forest Whip, which is a surprisingly useful weapon for how useless I feel it would be in any other Mega Man game, and the Beetle Jet, which is our Rush Jet equivalent. We're going to be seeing a lot of use of that throughout the run, like here in Jetman stage, where Jetman is obviously weak to the Beetle Jet. Of course he's not, but I mean, it'd be really funny if he was. We are going to use the Beetle Jet, however, to skip over these first couple of screens because that's much easier than actually doing them. I'm going to be real. I don't know how to get through these screens without the Beetle Jet. If we didn't have it, I probably would just have to give up the run right there. In the second half of this, we're going to see a lot of really interesting use of the Volcano Shot to kind of preemptively position it so it hits enemies as they spawn in. Which is really cool. These spikes are notoriously run-ending. If you are going too fast, you will bump into them every time and die. Yeah, no, that's fine. Am I still going to make the cycle? Yep.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, if you don't make that cycle, you just fall to your death, but the checkpoint's right there, so it's mostly just an embarrassment. And let me tell you something about embarrassing yourself on stream. That is basically my profession at this point, so I'm all for it, really. We got a bit of an auto-scroller here. If there's anything you want to talk about, any incentives you want to bring up, donations to read, if you all want to talk about how cool the aquarium is.
Oh, the
I've heard it's really cool.
aquarium is amazing. Actually, it's the only aquarium with a whale shark.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. The only one in the country.
They've got a beluga whale too, right?
Yeah, it's really awesome. I've been there a few times, so if you haven't been there, you should go.
I also heard that you can pet an otter for $85.
I'm gonna go pet the otter tomorrow. Clinket has convinced me to pet that otter.
That's awesome.
A sea otter.
We're going to get that E-Tank there just to be a little bit safe. Now, there is something interesting we can do with Beetle Jet here in the Jetman fight. I wasn't joking. We can actually get 1 hit on him with that weapon and then start hitting him with Vine Whip, his actual weakness. The reason we do that is because the boss's weaknesses, the way the health work out, leaves them at 1 health normally. So because Vine Whip is a melee ranged ability and Beetle Jet is empty, so it just reverts to being the Mega Buster, we can get a quick Buster shot on him in there, then swap back to Vine Whip, and ideally we get a fight like that where he comes up, he goes down, and he's dead. Now, Jetman gives us the Jet Missile, which is another weapon that we're going to be getting a lot of great use of through the run. It is a homing missile that you can have up to 3 of on screen at any time, which is super useful, especially here in Rolling Man stage, which is low gravity. The entire stage is low gravity. It's hard to control your jumps. I'm probably going to jump into a pit or 2. Don't worry if that happens. That is completely normal. In fact, that's part of the speed run. It's RNG manipulation, and you need to do it. Also, the gimmick of the stage, it rolls. Unfortunately, these rolling platforms are coded in Flash, so they don't work half the time. I can't blame that on the game. That was just me being bad, but I'm going to blame it on the game anyway. Who put that enemy there? That enemy's never there. Come on, game.
Come on, game.
Come
Get
on,
it
game.
together.
Get it together, game.
Oh no, we're reverting to the Brooklyn.
I had to bring it back.
This jump in particular, yeah, if you bonk your head there and you're not prepared for it, you're going right in the pit, and it's not going to look pretty. We've got another great use of Beetle Jet here to skip an entire incredibly annoying section, as long as I don't get bonked by this enemy.
We got a $5 donation from Anonymous that said, sat down to catch my breath between panels and did not expect to catch my favorite prize wizard. doing a run.
I'm the prize wizard here, and I'm selling you Rokko-chan. For a minimum donation of nothing, you can go download Rokko-chan and play it right now because it's a flash game. And I mean, you can't really put a price on those anymore. It's good, though. I recommend it. I don't know why I'm Brooklyn now.
Because why not?
Get your Rokko-chan today, and then get in a donation for Momentum, supporting St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. I'm going to say the name right one of these days.
One of these days you'll get it.
Roland Man's a pretty easy fight. We just need to time our missiles there so that they collide with him as soon as he loses his invincibility. We have plenty of health because we don't really damage boost throughout the stage. Now, I'm going to be real with you. The weapon we get here is the rolling ring, and frankly, it's not very good and it's not very interesting. And the stage we use it in is Lightning Man's stage, and that stage is not very good and that stage is not very interesting. So instead of doing commentary on it, I'm just going to read you all the Lorax. So, at the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, lies the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as he stood, before someone lifted the Lorax away. Now, what was the Lorax, and why was he there, and why was he lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. Now, you won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He hides in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under his roof, and he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And sometimes, in special dank nights in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and he tells of how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. At the end of a rope, he lets down a long pail, and you have to throw in 15 pence and a nail and the shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail and makes a most careful count to see that you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what he's paid away in his grub, a grubulous hole in his grubulous glove. Then he speaks, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the words that I have are for your ears alone. Okay, we're done with the stage. Good. That stage is boring. There's really nothing to talk about there. So I just like talking about the Lorax.
Give it up for Sven.
Yeah,
Let's
please.
go.
I am impressed.
I have the whole book memorized.
That is just something I would never have imagined on my MomoCon bingo card.
Yeah. We'll have to add it next year.
When I was in college, I wanted to be a children's librarian, so I memorized a bunch of Dr. Seuss books so I could read them to kids. And unfortunately, that's not really where life took me, but you know. It's a fun little skill to have in the back of my pocket. Now we are into Hockey Man stage. Weird theme for a Robot Master, but I think it's actually one of the devs' favorite, as the composer of this game, Asagin, is still active on YouTube to this day doing Mega Man remixes. And he actually did a Hockey Man remix not terribly long ago. We're going to Beetle Jet over the first part of the stage and then actually use the height of the Beetle Jet to get over this mini-boss so we can just stand behind the refrigerator and blow it up. If your fridge is causing problems, just get behind it, shoot some volcano shots and do it, and I promise you, it's going to be good as new.
Works every time.
Works every time.
70% of the time, it works 100% of the time. That's how it feels. Now, at the end of the stage, I'm going to try and do a Beetle Jet strat where we fly over the enemies, but I'm probably just going to mess it up and die, so be prepared for that. Either way. You know what? Almost did. My jump did not register, but luckily caught it in time and jumped back to the platform, so we're fine.
This is fine.
Everything's
This is
fine.
Hockey Man. Hockey Man has the power of the Ice Shield, as all hockey players do. The Ice Shield is a really, actually good shield. It's probably on par with like the Jewel Shield from Mega Man 9 as far as Mega Man shields go. Unfortunately, we have exactly enough ammo to defeat Volcano Man in the Robot Master refights in the Wily Tower equivalent later, so we aren't ever going to get to see any of the Ice Shield's capabilities, which is a shame because frankly, I think it's really cool. Anyway, with the 6 Robot Masters defeated, it's now time to fight Dr. Mad. Why is he mad? Is it because his nose is 3 sizes too large? We will never know, but we do know that he has an ominously shaped castle, and we, as a Mega Man, must battle through it.
Makes sense.
What else are you going to do?
Exactly. So from here on out, weapon energy carries over between stages, and that means that I really do need to kind of be conserving my shots with every weapon, or I am going to have issues. Whoa, my keyboard just slid out from under me. But we are adapting on the fly. It's fine. This screen is really cool if I do it right, and really dumb if I do it wrong. So let's see which variation you're getting today. Oh, no. Yeah, no. This is how you do it, actually. It's supposed to be this slow and awkward. The idea with this screen is we're using a bunch of beetle jets, but not actually getting them to move, because the weapon only starts using energy once it starts moving, so we can conserve energy by just jumping on it as soon as it spawns and making a lot of those cycles a little bit faster. Vine Whip, weirdly enough, can actually destroy those normally invincible, annoying floor enemies in Mega Man games, which is just a cool little niche it has. And here I'm setting up for another beetle jet. Ah, touched the fire there. This one's a little precise, so hopefully I don't mess it up. That might be low. It was low, but I jumped early enough to not bonk off the platform there. So we are fine. Now we're moving into the first mad boss, Gold and Silver. How this works is that Gold is going to start by flying, and then she's going to charge down at us. We want her to continue charging back and forth across the screen, while Silver just sits there and throws tomahawks at us. She, of course, did not do that and immediately jumped up again, and then jumped up again twice. So perfect. Perfectly bad RNG. At least Silver's staying on the ground and throwing tomahawks. As soon as I say that, she jumps, but it's fine. The boss is over, and we are good. Now, we are moving on into Mad 2, which has a lot of really fun strats and a lot of really dangerous ones. I'm going to be real with you. If I mess up a beetle jet towards the latter half of the stage, I don't know how to recover that. There is no safety strat. We're going to punt. Hopefully, I don't mess it up. Let's see what happens live.
I believe in you.
This stage is also home to the obligatory Mega Man-esque Crusher sequence. My one contribution to this game was actually figuring out a way to skip one cycle of these Crushers. I am not going to do it because I'm pretty sure it's frame perfect, and if you fail, you die. It also uses all of your Beetle Jet ammo, so I'd rather not. Oh, let me tell you, this is, I think, the first time I've ever gotten to show this game off at an in-person marathon. And even after 12 years of speedrunning live on stage, presenting prizes, being involved with GDQ, my hands are still shaking when I get to places like this, spike-lined auto-scroller. I am so worried I'm just going to hit the jump button and fall right into these spikes and look like an idiot. So if you still get a little bit of stage fright when you get up on stage, even if you have some experience, it's perfectly normal. It happens to all of us. We just got to push through it. We got to get what needs to be done, and move on with our lives. That's what it's all about.
Those are wise words, Sent.
Very wise.
Too wise for me, frankly. I need to say something much more stupid. Chicken jockey. There we go. That should even it out.
Let's go chicken jockey.
Oh, no, the crowd loves it. Ooh. That's... I grabbed that with the wrong thing, so hopefully I don't miss this. All right. This is the scenario I was afraid of. We're just gonna figure it out. Don't worry, everybody. I have a plan, and my plan is panic. That jump is incredibly tight, and unfortunately, there's not a good alternative to it. If one of these enemies drops a large energy, we're actually okay. If not, then I probably need to just do something awkward like ride these platforms for a bit. So that is going to eat into the time we have. So this is why we don't ride these, because they are slow and really awkward. You actually snap to the platform on top of you if you jump at the wrong time, and that can cause problems. Can I jet here? No, because that guy is going to kill me. All right, I should be able to jet here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I forgot you can't jet there because there's a guy at the very end. Well, we are learning live, everybody. Yeah, unfortunately, the reality is you just have to go for that strat and a run. If you miss it, you reset. Not really an option in a marathon. You just gotta hope you don't. But we pick ourselves up and we go again, and this time I guess we are just literally riding all the way across. So if we have donations or a sponsor plug or, I don't know, my epitaph to read, now would be a great time.
Well, we're at $1,310 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We do have a bid war going on for tomorrow's Super Metroid run, so you can go and choose what sprite the President Noir is going to play with. You've got this amazing Samus. You've got the Double Link. You've got Cuphead. And you've got my favorite, Buff Kirby.
Yo, you're on Buff Kirby? I am all in on Double Link. That is such a good sprite. They use the magic wand for a bunch of the beams. Anyway, back to the actual game. We have Mad Whale. Mad Whale is a really technical boss, strangely enough. The idea is we want to shoot right between that fish launcher on his back and the sonar so that we can hit both of them at the same time and force him to open his mouth more so that we can finish the fight. Unfortunately, because I died so many times, I ran out of energy for that, and yeah, that ain't good. So I'm just gonna have to bust her down this whale, but that's fine.
It's fine.
Sometimes you just gotta bust her a whale. You know, I should have just offered an incentive to make this Buster only, and then I could pretend like I was just oh yeah, we upgraded to it. It's fine. We're good. Thankfully, Mad 3 starts with some extra energy refills just in case you, I don't know, are flailing horribly at your speedrun showcase. So we're going to be able to stock up, and we should be just fine until I make the next major flub of the run. And that's what it's all about, just going until you make the next big error to be sad about. Okay, we do have a bunch of that, so we're good there. And this should be enough of this to get us through. Med 3 is an interesting stage on its own. It's got the mechs, actually, from the Mega Man X series, just as a writable thing that you get to do. It's kind of out of place, I'm not going to lie, but it's kind of cool. I like it. Also, another great use of Vine Whip here is that we get to slap down these Cannon Soldier guys. And even Rolling Ring gets a good use here because this guy has no iframes for some reason. So we can just shoot like 20 rings into him and then he immediately dies. Anyway, we've got the command armor here. There's a really cool damage boost strat you can do in this thing where you basically use the invincibility as it would die to get to a platform. I'm not going to do that because this run has already gone off the rails enough, and I'd like to make sure that I'm not the reason that we're even further behind on the schedule. I gave up my Type 0 run to get us back on schedule. Maybe I should have gave this one up too to prevent future drift. Nah, it's fine. We're going to be good. Coming up is our next boss, the Mad Machine. The Mad Machine is a really interesting boss that I don't think I've seen any other Mega Man game do. The idea is that it has each of the Robot Master's attacks, and it fires them in a random order. So you have to wait to see which one opens up and then hit it. They are weak to Vine Whip, which is obviously not a great weapon to be fighting something across multiple tiers. But, oh, wow, this is actually a good and awful pattern. Good because I got rid of all the right ones first. Bad because leaving the left one alive basically makes it impossible to hit the top left one without taking damage. Causes some annoying scenarios. Anyway, we are moving on to the final stage of this run, Mad 4. It's got the refights, it's got the Wily fight, it's got everything you want. I'm at a weird amount of energy on all of my weapons because of the mishaps earlier, so I'm going to double check to just make sure that I have enough energy on everything to beat the game. It would be really bad if I couldn't beat the game at this point. I feel like production would be mad at me, as would the executive producer of MomoCon, Momentum, who's sitting directly behind me right now. So for my sake, I'm gonna fill up on all of my energy tools.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely furious.
If you didn't know, Clinkett is the executive producer of Momentum, and she's from Brooklyn.
I'm absolutely from Brooklyn.
Of course you're from Brooklyn.
But, well, my mother was.
I don't know why we're on this bit. Please, if you don't get it, don't worry about it. We don't get it either. We're just, we're idiots. But that's part of the fun of speedrunning is you can do whatever you want, you know? You have fun with it. You play your own way. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you get to throw the ice shield at Volcano Man. Sometimes you activate the glitch where, yeah, your shot just goes in a random direction and not up. Don't know why that happens. That is genuinely a weird problem the game has. You can throw it up and diagonally, but only when the game wants you to, which is apparently never.
We got a $5 donation from the Lorax.
Yo, does he speak for the trees?
He says, I speak for the trees, and the trees say Naruto is overrated.
Those are some opinionated trees at an anime convention. They want to watch their back. They're about to get cut down, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, oh.
Spicy.
Hey, oh.
Hey.
We're going to take a little extra health here just to be safe. At this point, we're not getting a record in this game. We're not getting a PB. I just want to make sure we get to the end. Lightning Man still isn't interesting. Much rather read the Lorax. Seriously, check it out. Great book if you haven't read it. I don't know who hasn't read the Lorax. What is that shout out for? Yo, if you haven't heard of a little book called The Lorax, it's by this underground author called Dr. Seuss. I think he wrote a good thing or
I've
two.
never heard of Dr. Seuss.
What are you doing, Forrest? He just jumped at me like 6 times in a row. Even if this run was good, the RNG is not. Anyway, we get to the Mad Machine here. We've first got the Mad Tank, which we're going to fight by shooting a bunch of volcano shots at it. Then we've got the Mad Copter, which we don't actually have enough missiles for. So this is going to be a little awkward, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're just going to have to buster this thing. In fact, we're going to have to E-Tank. That's how you know the run's going well, ladies and gentlemen, when they bust out the E-Tank. Remember when I said it'd be funny if Beetlejet was actually something's weakness? Yeah, it's the Wily Capsule's weakness.
Wow.
Oh.
Anyway, production, you can stop the timer basically whenever. Time ended on the last hit, but again, we use in-game time, so it doesn't matter. Audience, clap for me, boo me, do something. Either or is frankly appropriate at this point. I'm not sure if I'm looking at this camera, if I'm looking at this camera, if I'm making production cut all over the place. It's all good. This was Rokko-chan. If you enjoyed it, my name was Sent. If you didn't enjoy it, my name was Spike Vegeta. Let's check out our final time here. Game?
25 minutes and 44 seconds.
Oh, no, we use it. The game actually tells you your final time.
Okay.
But we might actually have to watch the credits because I haven't cleared the game on this computer. And the game save file only cares about the computer it's on for some reason. Frankly, we're still coming in underestimate somehow, which is either a testament to my skills at improv or my skills at artificially inflating my estimate. But seriously, if this game looked interesting at all, if you are a fan of classic Mega Man games, if you like the idea of classic Mega Man with a dash and with quick swapping, made by a super passionate Japanese dev who went on to work on some of the greatest Mega Man fan games in existence. I believe one of the designers from this game went on to work for Minus Infinity. And I think one of the top runners for this game is actually the dev for Burst Chaser Air Sliding, one of the coolest Mega Man ROM hacks out there. It's a super cool game. It's super well put together. It is clearly made by a team that just loves Mega Man to its core. And again, it's completely free to play. It's 15 megabytes. It was so small that we probably could have put it on a floppy drive and then inserted a floppy drive reader into this computer and then transferred it that way. Like, it's just great. Asagan, the composer, still makes music, still posted on YouTube under a YouTube account with the same name, and some of it is just absolute bangers, a lot of Mega Man remixes, some cool stuff. My heart goes out to these devs. They did some absolutely cool work. And thank you all for sitting here, watching it with me, and sitting through my absolute flubs. Thank you to Clinket and Ash on the couch for helping me keep what little fraying piece of my sanity remains. Did I keep it?
You did amazing.
You did a great job, Sen.
You made us proud.
I don't know why we're doing this voice anymore. We probably should stop, but I'm not gonna until the end of the segment now.
No, that was awesome. That was really
a lot of
fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Never heard of this game, but I'm a fan, I think.
I think I'm going to download it when I get home.
Give it a try. Let's see what our time was. 25:37. You know what? Terrible, but I can get behind it. That was Rokko-chan. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, I promise we will have someone more interesting than me sitting on that couch. Stay tuned.